Have you ever had someone make a food for you that you absolutely love? And then you ask them for the recipe and you try to make it at home. And no matter what you do, you cannot for the life of you recreate that recipe. That's exactly what we're going to be talking about today as far as it relates to your sales pitch. So when I was a kid, I had a family member who made the best vanilla fudge I have ever tasted in my life. You would put it in your mouth and it would sit on your tongue and start to melt. And the flavor was like nothing I've tasted before or since. Now, I have tried to remake that fudge time and time again, and nothing even comes close. So finally, I just gave up. And this was a topic of conversation in the Design to Profit membership last week. One of the members, we'll call her Charlie, was very brave. And she posted the link to the last 9 minutes of her webinar where she was giving her sales pitch. And she said, "Vicki, nobody bought. I feel like such a failure." And I don't know if you've ever felt like that when you've put your heart and soul into a webinar or a workshop or a free event for your community and nobody buys your offer. And it leaves you feeling like there's something wrong with you. But what if there's nothing wrong with you? What if it's actually the fact that you're trying to follow someone else's recipe? In this episode, I'm going to walk you through some of the things to change your sales pitch for the better, so that people do actually buy. But more than that, so that you feel like you in your sales message. So that you don't get to the end of your event and start to panic inside and think, "Oh, I have to sell now. I'm so nervous. I don't want to do this." And you start looking away from the camera and you start making the people in the room nervous and you don't sound confident in your offer, even though you're completely badass at what you do. And you are badass at what you do. You're just making it weird when you go to sell. So Charlie in the membership, she is a 2-4 profile. And as I looked at this 9-minute sales presentation, I could see her stepping out of her 2-4 greatness time and time again. She's a generator with a great, big, beautiful aura that wants to draw everyone into her. And it was almost as if she removed herself completely from the room during the sales pitch. The worst thing for a 2-4 generator to do. And it was like there was the beginning where she was just talking through her content and all of the things that she was doing with people. And then she switched gears completely and went into the sales pitch. So what I would like to offer you here is, what if your sales pitch actually starts with your first sentence? What if everything, every bit of content in your workshop, your webinar, your free event is designed to move people closer to working with you? So that by the time you get to the sales pitch, they are so hungry to work with you that you can wrap it up pretty quickly. You don't have to belabor it. You don't have to make it weird. You don't have to stutter through it. You don't have to show a bunch of slides that are value stacking, all of those things. What if you start selling from the get-go? So in this 9-minute piece of the webinar that I was evaluating for her, there were 2 times specifically where I saw her heart. I saw her second line genius so clearly. It was impossible to miss. And I guarantee you her people saw that too. So one of the things that I suggested for Charlie was actually moving that piece where her heart was front and center to the very beginning of the webinar. And saying something like, she was selling a membership, something like, "And that support starts here tonight with this free session." And then go into it, so that they understand that this free session is actually step 1. It's not the whole thing. We're just seeding the thought all the way through that they're going to want more. And when we show up as ourselves, as in our human designs, people do want more of us, not less. So the biggest objective for our content anywhere is to remove people's resistance to working with us. Remove people's resistance to the thing that it is that we actually use in our business. For me, it would be human design. For you, it might be feminine embodiment. It might be yoga. It might be EFT. Whatever the tools are that you use, we're always removing the resistance to that. So what are people's objections? How can you speak to those? Call out the elephant in the room as you're going through, so that by the time you get to the sales pitch, you've already knocked all of the stuff out of the way that was in the way. And now you're ready to actually make the offer. And let's call it making the offer rather than the sales pitch. I'm saying sales pitch here just because you're going to understand what that means. You're going to come with me on the journey. But let's start thinking of it as I'm actually making an offer to you. I'm serving you something that will help move you forward. How could that change it if you started to look at it like that? This is the way that I serve, by making this offer to you. I'm not selling you something to trick you or to just get your money. I actually want to help you move forward with your business, with your life, with your relationship, whatever it is that you teach or that you share. And you need to walk into your entire event confident that you know what you're doing, confident that you can get your point across, confident that your message makes sense, confident that it's the right message for the right people. You know your stuff. Let it show. And when you get to the offer, one of the things that happened with Charlie was that she was looking everywhere but at her person. So if you're in a Zoom meeting and you're presenting online, or if you're in person and you're at the front of the room, you want to make eye contact with people. Online, you're going to do that by looking in your camera. In the room, you're going to do that by slowly hitting someone's eyes on the left, maybe in the middle, then to the right. You're not like scanning the room constantly. You're actually holding someone's gaze for a couple of seconds. And I know that that can be uncomfortable. And I know that until you get onto it, actually looking into your camera and speaking into someone's soul can be uncomfortable. But you are only ever speaking with one person. So no more of this, you guys, or maybe some of you, or any of that. You're speaking to one person. It's you speaking to the one person listening in her living room, in her office, in her car, on her walk, wherever, and speaking to how you can help her. Which leads me to, please focus on benefits over features. This is something that we talk about a lot on this podcast. You can go back through some old episodes, I'm sure, and find loads of content about how to speak to benefits instead of features. The thing that you think people are going to want to hear is not the thing they want to hear. So in Charlie's presentation, she talked about how there's 2 calls a month. There's a 2-hour call on this. There's a 2-hour call on that. And then there's all these things in the group and blah, 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 blah. The features, the things that make up the offer. They don't care. In fact, some of those things are going to actually push them away from wanting more of you, away from working with you, because it sounds like a lot. One of the pieces of feedback I gave her was, okay, you're speaking with busy professionals and they're already busy. The thought of coming to a 2-hour call might have just taken it right off the table for them. They have checked out when you said that. What we want to focus on instead is the result. What is the transformation? What changes for them because of that 2-hour call? What changes for them because of that module in your course? What changes for them because of that EFT session that you're going to do with them? That's what they want to know about. What's on the other side? The brain is wired for possibility. So all throughout your webinar, your workshop, your event, whatever it is, I long for you to be showing them what's possible for them. Yes, you're going to address the problems. In the beginning, you're going to say, this is for you if, and you're going to list it all out, and they're going to know they're in the right room with you. And then you're going to paint the picture of what's possible. What is on the other side of this work? You're going to discredit the things that they've already tried, that they don't even know are mistakes. They think there's something wrong with them. Just like you might be thinking, there's something wrong with me because nobody bought my offer. There's something wrong with me because nobody's engaging with my content. There's something wrong with me because I'm posting all the time and I'm not getting any engagement. There's nothing wrong with you. Maybe it's the template you're using. Maybe it's the fact that you're showing up as someone entirely different than who you are. So for this person, I talked about briefly in the beginning, the 2-4 profile. She's a 2-4. Her biggest gift is going to be in the room with her people. As a 2-4 generator, they need to see her in the room. And my soul died a little bit when I looked at this presentation and I saw her screen sharing. So you know how we end up in that little wee square at the top. And I'm not saying that you can never use slides. However, that's not going to pull her genius out. As a 2-4, she needs to be in the room with her people, with her community, with her network, for them to pull the genius of her second line from her. Her 2-4 profile feels juicy. People want to join her mission as a 2-4, but not if they can't see her, not if they can't feel her in the room. Because she was following a bro marketer template, she was stuck behind this slideshow giving them this value stack and what it all adds up to. But it's only going to cost you this. It's not a cost. Your offer is not a cost. It's an investment. And what happened was in this presentation, the sales pitch part, she ended up sounding like she was trying to convince people to buy instead of asking them, inviting them to join her mission, to join her crusade as a 2-4 profile. So let's say that you're a 1-3 profile. You're probably going to need to share a little bit of your own experience of life. You have an intrapersonal design. You have a design that leads people by you being you, by you sharing how you got it wrong, by you removing the shame around that. What have you learned through your experience? What have you learned through going down the rabbit hole that will actually help your people, that will make them want to be in the room more with you rather than less? So as you make the offer or do your sales pitch, one, it shouldn't come as a surprise. It shouldn't be a bait and switch. It shouldn't be content, educate, value, and then boom, sales pitch. There's no flipping gears here. It's that you are providing content throughout your event that actually moves them closer to working for you. So the sales pitch becomes the most natural thing in the world. They don't feel like they're being held hostage, having to go through all of these points. Oh my God, will she ever stop talking about all these points and all these things that are included? I don't even want the thing. No, it should be you showing up as you. You showing up, maybe you're a 3-5, as your 3-5 unhinged profile. Laughing about all the ways that you've gotten it wrong. Showing case studies where your people actually needed you to call them on their shit. Giving practical solutions. Your sales pitch is just another layer. And if you've delivered it well, you've removed the resistance. You've addressed the objections. You've discredited all of the other things that they may have tried and talked about why they haven't worked and why what you do is different. And they want what you have. You don't have to sell it. Does that mean that everyone will buy? No, of course not. But your people are going to come to you and buy from you when you show up as you. Not when you follow some bro marketer online. Not when you try to follow a script that someone gave you because it's working for them. Not when you buy a template and try to create slides from that. But when you show up as you. Now, your human design has a lot of moving parts. In Content by Design, we go through 7 specific parts of your human design that you're going to use in your message. And we keep layering it in and layering it in and layering it in, all of the nuances of you. However, from this episode, what I would love for you to take away is start to stand in and use your profile. Your profile is the role that you play in the movie of your life. It's exactly who your people need you to be in order to come close to you, in order to want to be in the room with you. It's both the easiest thing in the world to step into and the hardest thing in the world to step into, because it's probably a place in your life where you've been told you're too much. I know for me, I'm also a 2-4 profile. I was too quiet, too shy, needed too much time alone. Those are the things that actually allow my genius to marinate. You might be a 3-5 and you were continually told you can't say it like that. If you can't say something nice, don't say it anything at all. Stop being so direct. You're too assertive. Stop getting things wrong. You make too many mistakes. Can't you learn from someone else's mistakes? Why do you have to make all the mistakes yourself? But that's your gift. That's the most beautiful thing that you can bring to your people, is let them see your path. Let them see how you got it wrong. Remove the layers of shame on that profile of yours. That will make people want to come into the room with you further. So to recap, your offer starts the minute you open your mouth. Let your people see you from the get-go in your workshop, webinar, event, whatever it is. Let them see you. Share your heart from the beginning. Share bits of your origin story so that they understand that you get it. You've been there. or you've taken people from where they are to where they need to go. Focus on one person, not the group, one person at a time. Hold still, look in the camera, bring them with you. Lean hard into your profile. Show up as you and any other pieces of your human design that you know that you can use to be you. All you're doing is being you. Drop the scripts, drop the templates, drop following bro marketer online who does it this way and says that it has to be done this way. You feel salesy because you're not being you, because you're trying to be bro marketer who's selling $1 bazillion, so he says online, and even you feel a little bit gross when you watch his stuff. Focus on the benefits and not the features. Paint the picture of what's possible for your people. Show them the transformation that's on the other side. Call out the things that they're trying that are actually mistakes so that your solution is absolutely the most obvious thing on the planet. And don't flip the switch into a sales pitch. Just naturally move into the next phase of your webinar or workshop, assuming that people want more of you, not less. Because if you've done a good job of educating them on your solution in a way that lands with them throughout the workshop, then they are going to naturally want to work with you further. Trust that. Trust that people want to be with you. Trust that your business can operate in a way that honors your soul and your soul's calling and how you actually are designed to move through life. That is the gift of living your human design in your business, in your content, and in your messaging. No more slimy sales pitches, no more stress over people not buying your offers, just you showing up and serving as you. If you would love to learn more about how to do this so that you can deliver better webinars, better workshops, make more sales, make more money, and make a difference in your business, then you're going to want to be at my free 3-day masterclass. It's coming up the first part of September. I don't yet have the link for you to register, but once I do, I'll add it to the show notes here, and I'll be talking about it lots on the podcast. It's 3 days with me going through specifically how to use your human design, how to leverage your human design to build the content and the messaging in your business so that people actually want to work with you.